Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 105-100 victory over the Dallas Mavericks. And man, this was a wild finish, a wild game from start to end, and it was a much needed W for the Toronto Raptors. So we have a whole bunch to dive into in this game, and the Raptors had a very tough outing their last one against the Dallas Mavericks as Pascal Siakam ended up going down with injury. Just a tough L down there in Dallas. So the fact the Raptors were able to handle Luka Doncic, especially in a clutch game, is very good indication that even though this team is still injured, we had a few guys return to action in this one, but Pascal Siakam, Precious Achiuwa, Otto Porter Jr., as well as Justin Champagnie still out in these games, but this was a massive W for the squad. And the first guy that we got to give credit to, and Scotty Barnes also out in this game. Can't forget about our ROTY, but one guy that deserves some praise, deserves some love, deserves some credit is OG Anunoby, because in this game was absolutely dominant out there on the court. 26 points, 9 rebounds, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and playing some massive defense on the likes of Luka Doncic. And shot 9 of 19 from the field, knocked down a couple threes, and really did everything that the Raptors needed in order to get this W here tonight. And in the absence of Pascal Siakam, and especially where OG Anunoby struggled in isolation settings at the start of the year, there were question marks about whether or not this guy would be able to, really fulfill the prophecy of the young prince, right? Could he really take his game to the next level, especially when Pascal Siakam went down? And man, even though he's not perfect, he's not a natural number one option. He has done everything absolutely possible to keep the Raptors competitive in all the games that they're playing, and win a few like we did in this game here tonight. He was clutch down the stretch. We, not only on the offensive end, he had a really tough sort of finish in the lane down in crunch time, which is very effective, but OG Anunoby's just ability to stifle on defense, to get in people's way, to make the right decisions at the right times, to hustle for loose balls, right? Had a couple of jump ball, those 50-50 balls. He was getting his hands on the action, calling timeouts in a right manner. When he's being doubled and triple teamed. OG Anunoby was played really the perfect game for this Toronto Raptors squad, considering what we needed against Luka. Outstanding defense and really strong on the offensive end. So Turtle saying I'm sounding better. Definitely still feeling a little bit gross, but definitely the voice is feeling a little bit better. But this was a lot of credit, a lot of credit has to be due to OG Anunoby in this W. But one guy that has been roasted a bit, that has been discussed as, well, we should just trade him, we should just get rid of him, especially where he's had some down performances in the last few outings that he's been available. But Fred VanVleet, I thought in this one, yes, he's still inefficient. Yes, we wish he'd just make a few more of his shots around the rim. But the intangibles that Fred VanVleet brings to the game were on full display in this outing here tonight. And I want to see some love. I want to see some love for Fred VanVleet in the chat in this vid, because again, he had 26 points as well, 7 assists, 6 rebounds as our point guard, and 7 of 18 from the field, 3 of 9 from the three-point line, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, which is also huge and is a very underrated aspect of his game and of his skill set. But Fred VanVleet just hitting timely shots, whether it be in the mid-range, whether it be from the three-point line. Fred was just an absolute, the Kyle Lowry. I bring it up on a bunch of podcasts, but he's hitting these timely shots where, sure, he's missing a couple ones that are just at random times of the game, but the Raptors need a momentum-swinging shot, a momentum-swinging bucket. Fred VanVleet is doing a really good job this season at hitting those at the right moments, and he's driving into those lanes, and while the defense is still collapsing, while the defense is still, loaded in on Fred VanVleet, I think this series doing a lot better job at just facilitating. Had some really nice kickouts to corner threes, especially in the fourth quarter of this game, and he's been bagged on a bunch. But the long body lineup is very strong on defense. We're going to give credit to Wancho. I've already talked about OG. I've talked about a lot of our squad already, right? But having a defender that's mobile, that can pick pockets, can tip loose balls, can get in the way, those are just as valuable when you're going up against certain matchups. I know the Dallas Mavericks don't have, with exception of Luka Doncic, who Fred can't guard. He's just too big, right, Luka Doncic. But they have a lot of wiry players, whether it be Spencer Dinwiddie, Reggie Bullock, even Dorian Finney-Smith. Fred VanVleet can just stay with them laterally and use his strength in speed, strength mixed with speed, mixed with his quickness to stay in front of these bigger guys if they're long and wiry. Use this, the girth that Fred VanVleet got to lock down. So I just love what we saw from OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet in this game. Very, very positive stuff that we got to give credit to, folks. I see too many golden kazoos being awarded in the chats to our guys, but Fred is, like Ty saying it. I'm okay with Fred. He's having a bad shooting night again, but I do agree he's better defensively. But, he's, the inconsistency, it needs to improve, especially with the shots around the rim. But I want some love because it gets overlooked, the value that he's providing to this squad. So it's awesome there. Him and OG. Throw some W's in the chat there for Fred VanVleet and OG and Anunoby. But one guy was absolutely clutch in this game. And he had some bad moments throughout the course of this game. Always playing solid defense, always making solid passes. But our guy, chatty Thaddeus Young, folks. The one, the only, the Giga Thad, whatever you want to call him. But he's just does exactly what the Toronto Raptors need. He does exactly what we need to do night in, night out. And sure, it would have been nice if we made some more layups throughout the course of this game, but when it mattered most, Thad came up clutch. And I'll give this a little spicy P lay of the day. I'll break out the segments randomly. Then I just gotta give love. I gotta give love to Thaddeus Young because at the end of this one, after he missed a couple bunnies, after he missed a couple layups, shots that he never misses, he was put to the free throw line in clutch, in ice time, and went to that line, swished or bounced around a little bit the first one, swished the second one, which wasn't needed for this Raptors team because if Luka Doncic only had to get a 2-pointer, he was going to get it. They were going to get it. In the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd has very questionable plays at the end of actions. He's always trying to foul when they're up by 3. That's what the Dallas Mavericks strategy is when Jason Kidd is coach. He used to do it with the Nets and the Bucks. But he also refused to take an open, I assume by coach's directives. Maxi Kleba was completely open in the mid-post. Absolutely no one guarding him. And it seemed like there was a directive to say, we have to get a 3-point shot. They kicked it out, and Thad Young read it perfectly, sort of in the lane and stuff. Let them go by, let them pass out. Chris Boucher made a great closeout, and then I believe it was Dorian Finney-Smith who was killing us all night, who was having a good game, but really choked it away when he threw the ball right to an interception to Thaddeus Young, which sealed the deal. So shout out to Thaddeus Young for playing really, really well. And Superior, you can't be spamming. We can't be spamming. We need put user in timeout. I don't know how to do this. Okay, we got that rocking. But I don't have Marcel in here modding. We don't have our moderators rocking. But Giga Thad, throw some W's. Throw some W's in the chat for Giga Thad because this man was absolutely on fire to end the game here in this one. So lots of positive stuff for Fred, OG, and Young, as Rowdy is saying. But they're not the only guys that really had big moments in this one. And tonight, heck, I'll do it. I'll get the drum roll going. We haven't given it out in recent videos, but tonight the Scotty Barnes Award. It's going to none other than Juancho Hernangomez. Doing everything out there on the court. I'm getting the cruise missile out. I'm showing some love. It's the first non-Scotty Barnes Award that's not gone to Scotty Barnes this season, so take that as you will. But I just loved the performance that he provided tonight because he knocked down his threes, 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and really played outstanding defense, I thought. Just being mobile, being lateral, his length was on full display, but his quickness is the true value that I thought, mixed with his size, but his ability to stay in front of defenders, switch on to whether it be Luka Doncic, Reggie Bullock, Green, whoever he was matched up upon. I thought he did a great job at sliding over and help and doing the right things. And the fact that he's a threat, the fact that he made his 3-point shots, that's what we want to see. That's a huge plus for this Toronto Raptors team. Bo Cruz, as said, I've said in recent reaction podcasts, he's playing great defense. He's rebounding really well. He's living up to that reputation of a defender that's a mixture of Scottie Pippen and a Wolf. He's living up to that reputation. Just offensively, we need more from him. And the threes went in, but the more encouraging thing I saw from him, because the threes come and go. 3-point shooters, they make, they miss. And if they can get their game going in other spaces, that's when the threes start to go down more. But, folks, Bo Cruz is out here cutting. He's making these great reads. He sees the back of someone's head. He's diving right to that rim. And when you have players like Thaddeus Young, even OG Anunoby made a really nice dime to him today, right? With a nice cut in front of the face, whether you curl it, whether you backdoor it. Bo Cruz made a lot of nice just reads, off-ball actions, and got a couple layups out of it. And when you get a couple of those easy shots, easy touches around the rim, then the three-point shots just feel a lot more easy. They're going to go down way easier. So shout out to Bo Cruz. If he's playing like this, he's going to be in the rotation, as Nick Nurse sort of said at the start of the year. But obviously, we need him to continue to be elite on offense and then keep doing his thing on the defensive end. But people are bringing it up in the chat. Chris Boucher, coming off the bench in this one, really turned the game around for this Raptors squad. Because if there's a golden kazoo to hand out early in this game, it's going to the Toronto Raptors in the first 5 minutes of action. We only lost the first quarter by 29-24, but we were looking gross. We were looking objectively bad opening up this night. And the fact that we still have injuries, people thought, okay, this might be another stinker the Raptors are dropping, just like we had against the Brooklyn Nets. But no, Chris Boucher came in and immediately turned the tide for the squad and had a really, really solid game. 22 points, 13 rebounds, no blocks, surprisingly, but 10 of 19 from the field. Didn't hit his threes, but the way he was finishing around the rim, missed his free throws, which is tough, but the activity, the energy that he brought to this game really just switched up the tempo for this Raptors team, and that's why we love Chris Boucher coming off the bench, because even though consistency can be an issue with him, he just always is playing hard. He's always trying to tip basketballs. He's always getting those offensive boards and stuff. And with his length and with his just ability to cut himself, right, and usually the three-point shot going down, and the spice that he brings to the game, because you never know what you're getting from Chris. Even if the team is struggling, he could start going off. We saw it from his first season with the Toronto Raptors, right? In garbage time, he'd always be ready to fire it up, get cooking, with a lot of minutes off. He can come into the game and just completely shift the tide. And tonight he did that. And without Chris Boucher's energy, without Chris Boucher's presence, we probably get blown out in this one. So 22 points for Chris Boucher is huge. And I got to give credit where credit's due. Khem Birch also, I thought while he did miss a couple bunnies that still make me frustrated, 6 points for him tonight. And no other rebounds. Surprisingly, no other rebounds. But he's diving to the rim well. And just made a lot of nice touch shots. And his 13 minutes was very serviceable, right? I've talked about Khem Birch as the perfect sort of insurance big man in the NBA, right? If you have injuries going on, which we have certainly been dealing with at the start of the season, he can just come into games and be steady, be solid, be an actual NBA player to have deep in your bench. So shout out to Khem Birch for making his touch. He had a nice dunk in this game, which was nice as well. And I want to give some love. Kurloku didn't get much minutes in this one. Completely missed him being on the court. But Jeff Dowtin Jr., 12 minutes of action this one. Not the craziest box score, 2 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. But man, do I love this guy's game. Do I love what this guy provides to the basketball court. Now, I know Delano Banton was really strong in his moments of action when he's played for this Raptors squad. I know Malachi Flynn, I just did a video, pushing a bit of Flynn propaganda because I feel like people have sold completely on the Flynn stock. But Jeff Dowtin, since preseason, I've said this guy is legit. He's a legit NBA player, and I would not be shocked if he is a staple in the Raptors rotation going by the end of the season. Obviously, he needs to earn it, and Flynn and Banton are still fighting with all those guys in the pecking order, but man, Jeff Dowtin Jr., he had a really nice finish in this one, only took 1 shot, but the way he sort of slithers to the rim, and whether it be a kick out, whether it be a nice little dump off pass, he makes impeccable decisions when he's driving to the basket, when he has the ball in his hands, and that's exactly what you want out of a backup point guard. Not going to try and do too much and sell the game for you, but is capable of really doing anything out there on the court. And Dowtin Jr., he's a guy that I would love to give him a 5-game run of proper rotation minutes. Got 12 minutes of action in this one, but 5-game run, Nick Nurse. Give him 20 minutes a night, be the backup point guard for this team, and see what he can do, because he is nice, man. He is nice. He's polished. He's looking really good. So that's some positive stuff there. But let's dive into the segments. Let's see what we have to say about this game tonight. The one, the only spicy tea lay of the day. We talked about Thaddeus Young's free throws earlier in this one, which was huge, right? Being clutch, which is, you love to see it. Fred VanVleet had some really nice rainbow jump shots in this game. Had a nice lob there to, I believe it was Chris Boucher who threw it down at the end in the fourth quarter. The Raptors just made really nice play calls. They ran their actions really well, made some nice decisions. Just a well-oiled machine game for Nick Nurse's Toronto Raptors squad in this one. OG hit some tough shots down the stretch, which was great. So, the fourth quarter really just made me happy because this is the type of game that are really tough to win when you're going up against a true superstar in Luka Doncic. So that's very positive, but not all plays can be the spicy play of the day, and some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight, the OG's play of the game. It's the first quarter is definitely huge. It was ugly for this Raptor squad. I already discussed it, but I'm not gonna lie. Luka Doncic scares the living heck out of me. And when he had a couple just easy twos in the fourth, he went to the rim, people bouncing off him and finishing. Dinwiddie had a finish. I was saying, oh, geez. I was stressed out. I didn't lose faith. But, man, it's scary going up against a clutch, against a true superstar. So, hopefully we get ours back. Siakam's supposed to be coming back soon. But I was saying, oh, geez, anytime Luka Doncic had the ball at the end. I'm happy Nick Nurse double teaming and working that sort of stuff. But the final proper, I was about to bring up a DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award, but Paul Pierce Golden Kazoo Award in the night probably should be a DeMarre Carroll Gold Star because it was a DeMarre Carroll Gold Star-esque performance, and it's going to none other than the star boy himself, Gary Trent Jr., who I've been backing. There's been a lot of trade rumors over the past week or so, and I've been saying, I don't want to give him up for nothing. I don't want to sell low. But hesitant, even that crazy Warriors rumored package, I don't want to give him up. But, man, ugly performance, at least on the offensive end for Gary Trent Jr. tonight in this game. Had only 9 points, 3 of 12 shooting, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. I thought defensively he was actually a little bit more engaged, was reaching a little bit too much. But, again, defensively, that's what Nick Nurse really called him out. He said he's going to make his shots and stuff, but defensively, we want to see more of an impact. 4 steals, which was nice, but 3 of 12 from the field. I'm giving him the kazoo because it was an off night for Gary Trent Jr. He got benched in the fourth, because Bo Cruz was just great. Like, he's going to steal those minutes when he's playing like that. But Gary Trent Jr. definitely deserves some criticism due to tonight's performance, especially on the offensive end. The touch, he was getting some pretty open looks, right? 3 of 12 might not be a bad night when you have the focus of the offense on you. It's still not the greatest performance, but just knocking down those open ones, getting the feel back, right? Like, watching the games, you have confidence in certain players. And throughout all last season, even early this year, I always had confidence in Gary always making an open shot. But in the recent games, they just haven't been clicking. We got Gary Trent Jr. in the chat. If you trade me, what do you want? I'd want some serious assets back. I don't want to give up Gary Trent Jr. for nothing because Gary's a solid player, despite the fact that he's struggling right now. He's struggling as of late. So the Star Boy has entered the chat. It is what it is. It is what it is for Gary Trent Jr. I think once the shooting comes around, it'll be a positive. But I thought he did play a solid game on the defensive end. He's looking a bit more energized out there. But again, he can't let his defense just be the only thing that's out there being the positive for the game. If he's not hitting his shots, he's got to drive the lane a little bit more, and that's the one big issue with Gary Trent Jr.'s game. While he's a nice touch, like he hits those floaters, he hits these random bank shots when he drives in. It'd be nice if he just had at least one move that really, one sort of type of finish that he could go to get some buckets around the basket, because people have, regardless if he's having a bad game, they have to bite on his fakes, they have to bite on his jump shots. It's just he doesn't have that first step where he's finishing around the rim a whole bunch. So unless it's like a weird floater sort of thing, if he can get improve his inside game a little bit more, then maybe on nights where the jump shot isn't falling early, he can dive back to that, and then when he gets his confidence going, step back out from behind the three-point line again. So hopefully the Star Boy, I'm still confident the Star Boy bouncing back. Just came back from injury, flu, and sickness and everything going on, so I think that he'll be fine. But folks, I want to see what you guys have to say about this game. I want to see what the chat is discussing about this one here. And TJ Coolpants saying, hey, it's chill, it's all good. All I'm seeing is Gary Trent Jr. needs to be watched. Needs to be watched? What does that mean? I don't know if it's positive, but Gary Trent Jr. will be better according to Edward Pascal. When Pascal's back, he'll revert to spot-up shooting as will OG. Yeah, that's true. Pascal Siakam takes such a load on in terms of defensive pressure, defensive energy, and with his ability to pass, it's a huge plus for this Raptor squad. But trade Gary Trent Jr. as the centerpiece for Shea and KD. Asan, Tyreek, if we can do that, if we can trade, like I'm not on the sell low on Gary Trent Jr. bandwagon, but if we can get Kevin Durant or Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I don't think anyone would be saying no as a Raptors fan. But in what world? But how did you think Fred did tonight? I thought Fred was solid. Like, again, people bring up efficiency and bring up that they're valid criticisms. I'm not out here trying to back Fred VanVleet to death, saying, oh, he's a perfect player or anything like that. He does need to prove his inside scoring. He needs to make more than what was his threes in this one again? It was 3 of 9 from the 3-point line. Still not horrible by any means, but needs to make more of his shots. But Fred VanVleet, man, his presence is felt out there on the court in terms of running our offense, in terms of making sure people are in the right places, and just our half-court offense in particular runs like a well-oiled machine with Fred VanVleet out there. I think Adrian Griffin brought up how he's like a coach on the floor. That is exactly what he is. And even if it sacrifices speed at times, our half-court offense looks brutal with him not out there. So you got to give credit to him playing well. Scooby-Doo saying, do you guys think that he'll play good after coming back from sickness and injury? Very good point. Very, very, very good point. Because, man, it's a personal take, but you guys know it. I've been sick on these videos. I've been still a little bit stuffed up and stuff, but I've been playing in some men's league action, and I've been absolute trash, and I'm playing sick. So it's I fully respect Gary Trent Jr. coming back, Fred VanVleet coming back with all the illnesses going on, because I am utter garbage when I'm playing sick. But the refs are goofy tonight, though. That's facts. A lot of times that's the case with Luka Doncic ref games. Paul B is saying nice production value with taking a closer shot. Taking the closer shot for your personal opinions. Appreciate it, Paul. I'm not as good at timing them as well on the live streams, but if I want to make those takes, gotta get that rocking, because being cool. But you're being too nice. No way, Gary Trent Jr. is yeah. Definitely not the centerpiece of KD Shea trade, unless there's a bunch of picks. But TJ Coolpants will, when Gary gets back in his groove. I definitely think he'll be back in his groove. I bought low on Gary Trent Jr. on my fantasy teams. I definitely recommend you guys doing that as well. But OG balling and showing what he's capable of. That OG Anunoby is just a beast for the squad. He is making every other team say OGs, which is a huge plus. Edwards saying Fred controlled the game. You could see the run where it was Shaq and Worthy in the second, and they're just disorganized without him. Facts, Edward, and that's why we were looking with him out of the lineup oftentimes. Minoki is saying, you look so hot with those glasses. Appreciate the love. But Lampow. Got some Lampows in the chat. But OG proven he deserves a bigger role for real. And honestly, I think OG is playing perfectly within his role. Some nights he can come in and be asked to do more, but everything he's doing is within the flow of the offense. When he's asked to isolate and dribble the ball, air out the ball for 5-7 seconds and let everyone space out, he's not that effective in those areas. But when he catches it sort of within the flow of the offense and makes quick drives, makes quick decisions, that's where he's most capable. And he's going to get even easier looks when Pascal's back into the lineup. So I'm happy with OG, even though he definitely deserves more credit. I definitely agree, Ty. But Bill Kennedy definitely tried to throw the game today, yeah. They did review everything at the end. They did have some weird calls, but the league just wants Luka to be MVP. To be fair, Luka Doncic is pretty good. He's pretty good. I can't. The Mavs are my second favorite team. I've been open about this in the pod. My second favorite team changes every 2 seasons, but the Mavs are up there now. I just am mystified by how this guy Luka does everything he does. Just playing very low to the ground and stuff. I like the passers. I like all that. So he's good. He's good. But also, why does Nick Nurse always have to look depressed? So he can get calls. TJ Coolpants. But I didn't review on the foul on Wancho and the backcourt violation. But yeah, that was annoying. That was very much annoying. The roast in Nick Nurse's hero line. Things are going mad in here. I would be depressed too if I was missing half my roster. But they're getting W's, baby. They're getting wins, which we love to see. But I would be. Who are you more excited about? Bo Cruz or Otto? I'd like to see Otto just have some opportunity to run because we've seen him in the championship. But I am happy with how Bo Cruz is playing. I was more excited with Otto coming into the season, but it's positive. But Nick Nurse being looking depressed for the last 9 to 10 games. That's true. Pulls. Scooby Doo, you wilding out here. But OG had the perfect spin move and hook. But then he drives in the crowd and Luka loses it to Luka. So frustrating. And I also got to give credit to Luka Doncic, man. His defense has certainly been improved. He played really, really well on that end of the floor. He's using his size. He's playing well on that end. So that's what we love to see. OG Boucher is clutch. OG is awesome. I love him. Great player, great contract. We should trade him. We should trade him. What? Jordan, you're shouting him out. We can't be selling OG. He's our dude. He's our man. But you know, Paul B is saying let's play F Fred, Malachi, Kem, Cloco 905, Fred Barnes, Flynn, Banton, Dowtin Jr. I'm not good at acronyms. I bet. My bad. I apologize, Paul B. But Canada World Cup, we're not losing to Croatia. We need positive energy. We need positive energy. You know, we need to manifest the positivity. But what concerns me is Scotty looking disengaged on the bench. He used to be much more energetic, even his walking boot. Is he getting in his own head? I don't know. He's back on Twitch. All is well in the universe. Okay. Scotty's rocking out on Twitch. We love to see it. But I think we're good. I think we're getting a W in the World Cup. You know, we need to manifest the positive energy to be rocking out here. So need to manifest. We got a new guy in the Digest Me. Shout out Cody out here doing some Instagram stuff. Definitely follow us on Instagram if you know it's about to be popping. It's about to be popping back again, rocking. So I'll plug that there. Shout out to Cody. Made a post-game post in this one here today. But trade him. The Clippers front office in the chat or something. Knives, 100% backs. Clippers front office is in the chat here, trying to get us to sell all of our guys. You know, well, what will we take now? What's the rumors that are coming out? OG Anunoby for John Wall or something. That's gonna be the report coming out tomorrow. But our F Mary bench 905. I love it. I love it. Paul B. Flynn, Banton. I'll play along. I'm Marion Barnes because long term you want the relationship to be up. Fred VanVleet, I guess you gotta F. Then Kill's always aggressive. We used to play my Labrador. I'm from Newfoundland, so we always instead of F Mary Kill, it would be a F Mary send a Labrador. I guess people play that with Newfoundland and stuff. I had a girlfriend from Labrador, which made it even funnier. But you know, bench. I'm throwing Dowtin on the bench right now. I'm in the moment. I'm living the current timeline. I have a short-term memory span, but even though Banton probably should be on the bench at this point, but Dowtin keeping the 905 and Flynn's getting the kill. Even though I just backed him up on a recent video, I've upped the Flynn stock enough. But Ben, if big Raptors news happened, would you guys make a vid about it on Courtside Digest? We kind of leave the courtside. The thing about it, we got a new strategy with Courtside, so if news hits, we kind of just aggregate it all together, right? We break down the news every second day. So, you know, I talk about it. I don't get into as many of the rumory stuff, the minor report stuff, and Courtside Digest surrounding the Raptors, but we get everything rocking out there on Courtside Digest. But hopefully Toronto fans can chill on the Fred VanVleet. So fickle sometimes. OG Fred, Siakam, Barnes have great core. Age lines up well. Completely agree. Dr. Gonzo. Definitely agree. And Fred's still sick by the 4T. Without him, we have lost. Yeah, definitely gotta show some love to Fred VanVleet. Throw your W's in the chat for Fred VanVleet. And folks, we have 161 people in here. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, you're enjoying the content, definitely hit subscribe. It means the world to me. We're trying to make that push. Get that sub push. Jay's Digest has been rolling on the subs. Habs Digest has been rolling the subs. You know, even Leafs is popping off a little bit now. We gotta make a little push on the old Raptors Digest. Keep my ego high. But I was totally trolling. But thanks for indulging. You know, that's what these long term long form live streams are for. We indulge in everything out here. But center, you think we should trade for? I don't know. Miles Turner, I'd still love Miles Turner. I'm gonna make every rumor I see on Miles Turner. I want the Raptors. I'm speaking into existence. I think he's really good. But Bears better than all the NFL teams. Don't know anything about that NFL. But if you want to make an NFL Digest team, hit me up. But thoughts on other Canadians in the league, like Shea. Shea's a monster. Mathurin is a monster. RJ Barrett really struggling recently. Talked about him on Courtside Digest, but man, he needs to really get more efficient from the field because things aren't looking good on that front. Just Scotty upstairs in the arena. Sorry, streaming at home. Scotty just lives in the Toronto Raptors stadium. That's how it goes. lives in Scotiabank Arena. But Cat, yeah, Cat would be great. Allen would be great. We could have had Allen, which a couple years ago, which would have been really, really nice. But Dowtin seems to be doing well on defensive assignments. Yeah, he's super long, wiry, strong, gets the rim well, plays well on offense. It's a positive. 80 price would be too high for 80. Injuries are concerning. He'd be good though. But yeah, his Miles Turner is great. Like I want him on the Raptors. That's what I want. But folks, I think I'm gonna have to sign it off there. You guys are the best for making this far. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the Instagram because we're getting that popping once again. Anyways, you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.